Vicky Tunstall, Detective Superintendent at Tower Hamlets. I have a responsibility for neighbourhoods and partnerships in Tower Hamlets Police. Some of you here may know that actually the police station that we work in covers Tower Hamlets and Hackney, so two very different communities sitting next to each other and a real diverse mix for us as police officers. I used to work at Tower Hamlets back in 2008, worked here for about 5 years as a detective sergeant, went off and had a career in specialist crime, but really felt that need to come back and work and contribute again to the communities that exist here. I felt it was a really special place then, and I continue to think that today. And I came back to Tower Hamlets last November in the role of Superintendent for Neighbourhoods. So for me, this was a real opportunity to put something back into the community. And I worked really hard as soon as I landed here to launch a new structure within neighbourhood policing, which allows us to have far more strength in our community policing response. So for me in Tower Hamlets, the engagement teams sit underneath me in my structure. We have localised ward teams that sit underneath me. And what's really important for me, and part of the objective of the Commissioner, is that we have a really strong crime-fighting response by our local ward teams to make sure that all of you live safely here in Tower Hamlets. And that's our real driver every day when we come into work. I work really closely with those partners at Tower Hamlets Council, and many of them are here tonight. And it's a real pleasure that we've got such a strong relationship with the council and with our community safety leads here. For all of us in this room today, I think the one thing that we absolutely have in common, we may have different faiths, but the one thing that we absolutely have in common is about keeping our communities safe, both for ourselves, our families, and for our children. And that means not just where we live, but where we work and how we travel to and from those places. So the streets that you live and work within in Tower Hamlets, we work very hard with our teams to make sure that you are safe. Because of this restructuring process, it has meant that we've had quite a substantial uplift of staff into our teams. We've created some new governance to make sure that we are all working to the same priorities and objectives. And I recognise that there are many people in the communities that are sometimes unsure as to who should they call when they need to speak to the police. And there's sometimes some concern about which method do they use. There are a number of options available to you. If you are ever at any risk, then of course you always dial 999. But if you exist within your community and you have an emerging risk or a pattern of crime or a problem or issue that's causing you some concern as a community resident, then you can either contact 101 or you can go online and make a report that way. But what I've done tonight, just to ease you and to make sure that you have an understanding as to who your local ward teams are, on each of the tables I've left a couple of packs which contains a map of Tower Hamlets and then some associated references to who your cluster ward teams are, who the sergeants are, and how you go about contacting them. Because it's often voiced to us that people just don't know who their local ward teams are. And that's a real concern for me, because I want to know that you've got a really good community relationship with your local police officers. So please, during this time tonight, and take it away for your communities as well, please take the time to have a look at that pack, recognise where you are in the map, and then look at the corresponding list of who your local officers are, and take the time to get in contact with them. We often hold ward panel meetings there every quarter, so every 3 months. We hold community conversations, which are often held at the Tower Hamlets Town Hall, and in various other locations. And you're always very welcome to come along to those and discuss the local issues that are troubling you. And we will do our best to listen to you and provide a policing response that's appropriate and suitable. So if you do get the time tonight, please do have a look at those. And otherwise, I'd just like to say, again, a big thank you to the Council of Mosques. We've been developing a relationship since, certainly since July of this year, when we started to have a very regular meeting with them. It went very well, and we maintained a relationship with the Counts of Mott's throughout the national disorder that happened in August, and that was really important to us, and I think made a really key difference in how we reassured our communities as to what the policing response would be. But I continue to be invited by the Counts of Moss to these events. I will always do my utmost to try and come, and I'm very privileged to see so many different diverse mixes of faiths here today and representatives of our council and our partners. So thank you very much. Enjoy your night. Thank you.